What up, YouTube? It's me, Wall Street. And that's probably why you clicked on the video, because you can't get enough. Can't get enough of that Wall Street talk. So I brought it back again. And what I want to talk about today is one player that I used to watch quite a bit, because he used to be featured quite heavily on my woeful Washington Wizards. Talk about Mr. Bradley Beal, current member of the Phoenix Suns, and the only other player in the NBA besides LeBron James that has a no trade clause in their contract. Which, how did Bradley Beal get that? I have no idea. His agent must be made out of gold. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Or the Wizards general office was just, they didn't care anymore. They were like, whatever, just give him all the money. Open the safe. Get everything that's in there. Give it to him. We don't care. And that's kind of what happened. And, Bradley Beal is now a member of the Phoenix Suns. We, basically got Jordan Poole back to the Wizards because of the Bradley Beal trade. We effectively, traded Bradley Beal for Chris Paul and some draft picks, I believe. And then we then traded Chris Paul out to Golden State for Jordan Poole. So I think it worked out the best way it could have. Jordan Poole's contract is not nearly as bad as Bradley Beal's. And he doesn't have the no trade clause. So if you do find someone to trade Jordan Poole to, if you're the Wizards and you want to do that, you don't have to worry about him being like, nah, I'm not feeling like it. I'm going to stay right here. You don't have to do that. With Bradley Beal, you have to do that. So Bradley Beal signed a 5-year, $251 million contract on Wednesday, July 6th in the year 2022. And he currently has 3 years, including this one, remaining on his deal. Currently is getting paid $50.2 million. Next year it will be $53.6. And then the year after that, he has a player option for $57.1 million. That's more than $1 million a week, ladies and gentlemen. And obviously, we have taxes in America. But if he's still in Phoenix, those taxes are pretty low. He's making a decent amount of change. So, but what I want to talk about is I've been hearing his name be tossed around a lot with Jimmy Butler and how that could potentially be a trade, since Jimmy Butler very publicly wants out of the Miami Heat organization, and Pat Riley seems pretty motivated to get rid of him. So in terms of finances, because in the NBA your financials kind of have to match up. You can't be taking on more salary than you're allowed. And Bradley Beal and Jimmy Butler get paid a very similar amount. I think Brad is making a slight amount more right now, or maybe it's just about the same. I'm not sure, but it's within like $1 million or $1.5 million. I'm pretty sure. So they'll likely be able to make that trade if they want to. And Bradley Beal, apparently, I don't know if he said it or whatever, but there's always all this trade rumor stuff that comes out when players are asking out of certain places and stuff, and it said that Bradley Beal would waive his no trade clause and basically make way for the trade to happen if he was going to be traded to the Lakers or the Heat, or I think there was one other one. I don't know what the other one was, but realistically it's probably the Lakers or the Heat that actually happens. I don't know who the Lakers trade for him. I honestly don't think you can trade anybody. You'd have to trade like 4 players, and that would be your entire team, and the Lakers already don't really have much of a team. The Heat, on the other hand, really would just have to trade Jimmy Butler, and then the rest is kind of however you want to slice it, right? You might be able to do just a straight-up type of trade. And I think Bradley Beal would work well in Miami, but I also think what Phoenix is doing now by bringing him off the bench is the best thing that they've thought of doing this entire season. It's not that Bradley Beal is not going to play anymore. It's just you're going to get him out there at a different time in the game where he's going to be able to basically be the offensive threat on the court. He'll be out there with KD sometimes, but I think it's really going to be Brad with the rest of the squad, or KD, or maybe Brad and Devin Booker. I don't think you're going to have all this, combination of the three of them out there, because it's just like the amount of talent they all have together. Their talent is very similar to one another, in slightly different ways, but they all have a very similar skill set on some level. So putting them all out there, I don't think is really going to work. It seems like it has not worked thus far. They are still below 500, and they beat the Philadelphia 76ers tonight, the night that I'm recording this, and that's a good win. But and they won on the road, but Sixers didn't have Joel Embiid. Like, you should be winning that game, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I think Brad scored like 24, 25 points off the bench. So he can be that guy that's like, a really good bench scorer and just comes off the bench, gets a bunch of buckets, and gives a little burst of, energy to your team and momentum while Katie's getting a rest, while D-Book is getting a rest, so that, you can actually thoroughly play the game with good rotations in for the majority of the game, even if your two stars in KD and D-Book are out and Brad's in, or KD's in and Brad and D-Book are out. Like, you're just going to have a lot more variety and flow to your game, because you're going to have the distribution of the offensive talent throughout the game as opposed to just playing them all at once. So I think that's very important. And like, we all know Brad Beal to be a very good scorer. He's a multiple time All-Star. He's been in the All-Star game 3 times, been All-NBA once in his career, made NBA third team. But 2 different seasons put up 30 plus points per game, and neither of them was a full season, but still being able to put up 30 plus for 55 or 60 games is very impressive. So he can definitely come off the bench and average 20, and I think that's the way the Suns should really be playing him. So we'll see what happens, and more likely than not, I feel like he's probably going to get traded for Jimmy Butler. I really do think that that's a scenario that is very likely at this point. And it kind of is like similar to me to when the Wizards traded John Wall for Russell Westbrook. That was a little different because I felt like John Wall didn't really do what Jimmy's doing to get traded. He kind of just got dealt. But it would be funny if you kind of involve Brad in a trade like that now. Just, the former glory of the Washington Wizards, they just get dealt out once they get old and injury prone, and it's a rough ride. But, I respect Brad Beal. I think he's a great player. I just think that, I think it would benefit both teams. You put Jimmy on the Suns and you put Brad on the Heat. I think it benefits both teams. So I would recommend they try it out, see what happens, because the Heat got to get rid of Jimmy. Heat are definitely going to get rid of Jimmy. So, might give the Suns a little bit of an upper hand. They get rid of Brad, bring in Jimmy Butler, they bring in, one other player from the Heat. But we'll see what happens. We'll certainly see what happens. But I want to know what you guys think. If you're a Phoenix Suns fan, I want to know what you think about your team's season so far. I know the Suns started out really good, and now they're kind of just sinking down. They're sitting outside the playoff race. So I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the Suns? Where do you think they're going to finish? What do you think about this Brad Beal coming off the bench? I want to know. But if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate you doing both of those things. And I'll catch you guys soon. I'm back on this mic often. This is a place I come often. So I will be talking to you very soon. So stay safe, stand on business, hold it down. Peace.